Right, and there you have it. So now let's take a look at, excuse me, some of the stories on our local dailies, on the headlines on our local dailies here. And with me, I have got the Star newspaper. On the front page of the Star, lead Raila Mount Kenya campaign, allies tell Uhuru. Lead Raila Mount Kenya campaign, allies tell President Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, a section of MP says that the president's silence on his succession plan has triggered confusion and given undue advantage to their rivals. That is on the front page of the Star newspaper. And still on that, CS Musheru attacks DP Ruto as DP lashes out at opponents. Now, cracks in the Jubilee administration seem to have reached as crescendo after ICT Cabinet Secretary, that is Joe Musheru, yesterday launched a scathing attack on Deputy President William Ruto. Now, the soft-spoken CS scathingly attacked politicians whom he described as wolves in sheepskin and snake oil salesmen out to hoodwink the youth and the church to gain political power. That is what is there on the front page of the Star, as well as Magoha hunts for Form 1s yet to report to school. Education CS did that in Mombasa, where he rescued two students who scored 350 marks and above but failed to join Form 1 in Mombasa County. And he said that he's going to embark on that process, that is going to send all the students who made it to Form 1 but who are yet to report due to different challenges. All right, there you have it. So, states to administer 150,000 vaccines daily in renewed efforts. Now, the Kenya's target to vaccinate at least 10 million people by December might soon materialize. This is after the government received 12 to 70 degrees centigrade freezers in preparation for the eventual rollout of Pfizer vaccine in the country. Remember, the government also received Moderna vaccine yesterday. That is over 880,000 doses from the U.S. government. Still, that's continuing. China also donates 10 billion shillings to buy vaccines for poor countries. This brings to 1 trillion shillings resources so far available for the Gavi COVAX facility. The facility has delivered at least 3 million vaccine doses to Kenya, with more expected this particular week. So that is as far as vaccination and politics is concerned. Jen.
Let's now run through the front page of the Daily Nation very quickly before we get to give you some details. There we have it. Quite a number of stories have been featured here. And we start with the 3 stories here on the header. Number 1, AG fights to keep the 450 billion SGR contract a secret. And this is after 2 petitioners did in letters that were dated the 16th of December 2019 and the 13th of May 2021 wrote to the AG and principal secretaries in the Ministry of Transport and the National Treasury requesting details of the agreement between the Kenyan government and the service providers or third parties involved in the operation of the SGR, which is estimated to have been about 450 billion Kenya shillings. But on the other hand, the AG argues that the petition is frivolous and an abuse of the court processes for not providing any proof of the existence of the request for this information. Should the AG have this way, we might not never get the details of the contract between the Kenyan government and the Chinese firm that was given that particular contract to put up the SGR. Then there is this particular story concerning the police officer who killed Lava in hospital bed, an incident that happened at around 11 a.m. this past Sunday at Njoro Sub-County Hospital, where the patient is said to have gone to the hospital having reported a fractured right leg and several soft tissue injuries, but the said lady Nyambura did not leave that particular hospital. It is said that she died of the 13 bullet wounds that she was shot by the said lover. Coming to the main story here on the front page in regards to Raila's big blow. After months of speculation, ODM leader Raila Odinga finally declared that he will be in the race for State House come 2022. But in the same week, he made the announcement. The Court of Appeal, of course, upheld the High Court's decision terming BBI as unconstitutional, and now it is said that the former PM finds himself in a tight spot, and some of these issues are revolving around the executive, the euphoria, and of course the political debt that comes into play. And finally, paying your rent on time or else. There is a whole page here, that is page 11, that looks into the Landlord and Tenants Act. Some amendments have been proposed by MPs, and I will be particular to share with you the details of this particular proposals that are being put forth by our members of parliament. And then, of course, how police foiled Coast terror attack that involved 2 police stations, a busy shopping mall, and a church that were targets of this particular terror attack. We'll be giving you details in a bit. Doreen.
Right, you also have that particular story this morning on the PD where the police kills lover, phones his wife, then turns gun on self. Just trying to say that the police constable, that is Bernard Civil, killed Mary Nyambura, who had gone to seek treatment after an earlier bloody fight. Now, we have been witnessing a lot of such stories, especially on the police force. And just in the same breath, there's also an article this morning that highlights what exactly happens in the mind of a killer, because oftentimes, this article just shows that oftentimes these couples who find themselves in these circumstances, the pictures that actually show before that is just a picture of a couple looking happy, very, just looking like they're really doing life well. But then on the flip, we see that one of them has killed the other one of them has shot the other one. So that article just highlights what exactly happens in the mind of a killer. And of course, I'll be very particular to tell you a bit more about that, perhaps just to understand what usually happens and perhaps what transpires there. Away from that, coming to politics, where One Kenya Alliance now gives conditions for Raila deal. We know that there's a meeting set for tomorrow with the OCA leaders, together with the president as well as the ODM chief. But the leaders now say they will seal a pact only if the ODM chief joins their alliance and expresses willingness to back one of them ahead of that tomorrow's crunch talks with the president of next year's general election. Remember that also this forms that crop of leaders that mid this year they had talked about not wanting any form of backing or any form of political endorsement. So what does this mean when they're saying that this will only take place only if the ODM leader joins as an equal partner and agrees to back one of them? That is for next year's general election. Also, on the same breath, the president had said that he is only going to support if all these leaders come together and unite. But let me just read a bite from what Edwin Sifuna said in regards to that, is that, have you ever seen a big river like the Nile joining a small stream? Our hands are open to receive them should they wish to join us. ODM. ODM is a major party that cannot be dictated by smaller entities. So is he referring to this other parties allied to One Kenya Alliance as smaller parties, or what exactly is he talking about? We'll just highlight that in a short while, perhaps when we get to the bigger picture of what this particular article states in regards to that. And also, stop the deception. Musheru tells Ruto this in regards to what the ICT's cabinet secretary was saying yesterday, as he tells youth and church to call out merchants of propaganda. But the deputy president on the flip reboots, saying that is healthy criticism. Also part of what the ICT CS there said is that the church should be very key to try and shun away these kinds of political leaders who just go to throw away money or speak about matters politics in the church setup. Now, let's come to what perhaps analysts are saying in regards to the Attorney General Paul Kihara, and this comes after that BBI judgment on Friday, which was declared unconstitutional by the Court of Appeal. Yesterday, we saw the AG saying that he is going to appeal that, going to the Supreme Court. But now political analysts and pundits are saying that is is it that perhaps he is misadvising the government, given that the government has been losing quite a number of cases over the years, or those that he is advising are just not heeding to his advice? What exactly? And this header just says that AG is now on the spot. This is after a string of court losses by the government there. Now, away from that, to matters education right now, of course, as of yesterday, we also saw the CS Education trying to go to various places across the country in a bid to try and ensure that there's that what we call 100% transition to Form 1 there. And yesterday he was at the coast area, whereby we are around that area rather, there's just been only 60%, which does not qualify to what exactly he had been talking about. So just aside from the coast area, which other places perhaps is he planning to visit to ensure that all what he's talking about in regards to that 100% transition will actually come to fruition there? And lastly, the new bill which outlaws spitting, urinating in public spaces. So yes, if you're someone who's accustomed to that, there's now a new bill and their charges and fine. You really want to find out what exactly this is all about and what will be at stake if actually you violate this particular law. Ray.
Now, talking about spitting, but Sasa ni spitting mistari and dedicated to the GMK crew. We have Wilson Kangatu, Meshak Mboro, Shitandi Simba, all watching from Nairobi area, who say that they never miss to watch in the headlines because we summarize for them what is contained in the newspapers and what is trending. We save them the time. Well, keep the date, save the date. Every morning, Monday through Thursday, we're here, not just give you the details, but also give you an opportunity to interact with us and also our guests who we bring in to discuss matters, current affairs. So do keep it right here. We'll continue sampling what we have on our various newspapers. You've heard from my colleagues. I have a copy of the Standard with me. Same story, matters of Afghanistan, that is a big dilemma right now. When you look at sports, is how Tusker ended Gor Mahia's dominance. Remember, Gor has been at the top of the league since 2017 until recently there. Then the issue of, gender-based violence. That particular story about the cop and the friend has also found itself on the front page of the Standard this morning. But for further details, we are going to be taking a quick breather, but not right now, in the next 5 minutes or so. So as I was saying, the copy of the Standard: officer shoots girlfriend dead and turns gun on himself. And I want to get into the details, but not before mentioning that cumulatively it has been 10 years that Raila, Kalonzo and Mudavadi have been out of government, as serving as Prime Minister, Vice President and Deputy Prime Minister respectively. As you ponder on that fact, the BBI had 5 slots that were created. 5 slots.
In the executive?
Now, yes, in the BBI. So your guess is as good as mine as we are working towards the general election 2022, and that move by Parliament there to just pass a few bills, as what the governors have said, is that they want this passed because it is of the good of the constituents they represent there. So today, tomorrow, President will host the One Kenya Alliance chiefs and ODM's Raila in a bid to craft a winning alliance. With the BBI dead, Uhuru's bids at forming a coalition is well cut out. That is what we have on the front page of the Standard this morning. As Shitanda Simba as well as Wilson Kangatu say, we summarize for them what is trending. So get on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1 News. Tell us your feedback. What do you think about what is happening in our political scene?
All right. So this, in terms of politics, in the next hour, we'll be talking to, that is Gladys Sholei, who is the woman representative of us in Gishu County, and that is Godfrey Osotsi, ANC nominated member of parliament. We are still talking matters politics, and matters politics. Now, top Uhuru Raila allies reject MP's BBI revival. Now, some of the pro-BBI politicians have warned against a push by the parliamentary route to enact law change after the courts scuttled a referendum process. The Star has established that, however, the National Assembly's Constitutional Implementation Committee is to be the focal point for the renewed push to amend the law. So, National Assembly Deputy Majority Whip Mawaka Maori said that the focus must now be on 2022 general election. And Ruto now says that how you will hold him accountable on campaign pledges. The DP and Western leaders and professionals who support his movement agree on a 10-point development agenda. And Ruto said that to faithfully implement the hustlers' economic blueprint, his administration will set up delivery units from the top cascaded to the grassroots level. Now, let's talk about Matters Parties Fund. And ODM hands out 117.2 million shillings to ANC and Wiper. Now, Mudavadi Party says money yet to be wired, but Kalonzo's can neither confirm nor deny. So this is it. The Orange Party has, however, withheld 36 million shillings share for Ford Kenya, which is embroiled in vicious power wars. The money was part of the political parties fund that the party last month agreed to share with its former affiliates. So that is as far as that is confirmed. Well, ANC says that the money has not been wired, but Kalonzo's Wiper can neither confirm nor deny. That is what is politics here on the Star newspaper. But remember, we have got our guest who we are going to delve deeper into this and other political stories in the next hour.
Now, before we get to take a very quick breath, I just want to tie in this particular piece here concerning Raila's fresh headache in 2022 presidential bid after BBI fails, and of course, focusing heavily on the executive positions that were sort of promised to, in the event that the BBI proposal was to sail through. Some of these positions were promised to those who would rally behind Raila Odinga, but given that now, if he does become the president, he will only have the one position of a vice president promised. What does this mean for him moving forward, looking at the Oka principles on one side and of course the Mount Kenya leaders on the other side, who some have expressed hesitancy to support his candidacy for 2022. And on the other hand, we have governors who are now vowing to push for progressive BBI changes, tying to the story that we also had yesterday on the papers concerning MPs who are looking to push 52 clauses from the BBI proposal that will need to sail through without much problems here and there. But we take a very quick breath. I will be back to continue with this particular segment as we let you know what is in the papers today. Stay with us.